guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. I had a little technical difficulty, so I had to log off and log back on. I want you to take a look at my Instagram bio and check out the link for the YouTube for the Indie Spotlight Philly. You can watch all of the past and latest episodes. Also, check out the podcast for the Indie Spotlight Philly, which you can find at Spotify, Anchor.fm, and Google Podcasts. I have season 1, first 20 episodes uploaded on there. I want to thank everybody, the supporters, the viewers, and the guests that come here. We couldn't do this without you. Tonight's episode of the Indie Spotlight Philly Wednesdays, happening on Instagram Live at 7 p.m. EST, or Eastern Standard Time, is a special one. We have veteran comedian, actor, and writer, Shayrenee. When Shayrenee comes into the room, I will invite him to the camera and we will start the interview. If we have any more difficulties, I'll just come back in and come back out of the room. Did you do it? Oh, he already did. Okay, damn. Okay, let me bring you to the camera. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Great. Let me pin your name down here.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell you, thank you. Thank you so much for coming to the Indie Spotlight Philly and also being very, very reachable for me to talk to you. Yes. So I know it's really, really hot in Philly.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I'm in the cooling unit, aka my bedroom. So yeah, it's definitely hot.
Same. So what part of Philadelphia are you from?
North Philly, 23rd in Clearfield. One of my grandmothers lived at 23rd in Clearfield, and my other grandmother lived at 33rd in Allegheny. So like 10-block radius.
Right. And you still are in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I'm in a better neighborhood, but yeah, still in Philly.
Thank God, yes. So, so I like your name. It's nice and it's very unique. Who gave you your name?
My mom used to work at St. Chris Hospital for Children, and she worked with an intern by the name of Fade Toure. His name was Fade Toure, and she took his last name and kind of, corrupted it. Like it wasn't spelled the way my first name is spelled. It wasn't 2 words, so she made it 2 words, and that was given to me.
Yeah. So what I was noticing was I didn't notice that you were as tall as you was. You're 6'6".
Yeah, when you're on stage, people think it's the stage, and then it's like when they see me, it's like, oh, you are that tall. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't an illusion. That's me. That's all me.
So, I was looking at a little bit about you, and I was looking at when you were talking. They were talking about when you first started getting your break. So that was in 1992 at the Laugh House. Could you tell me a little bit about that? Like when you first.
Yeah, actually, my break was a spot, maybe 90, 89, 90, by the name of Mo Laughs. There used to be a Monday night showcase night, and it was basically the Penrose Hotel, the banquet room of the Penrose Hotel down South Philly. They used to let this police officer named Mo Hampton rent it out, and he would do comedy on Monday nights. And I went down there, and the first time I went, I had to pay to get in because basically it was open mic, but all the performers paid $5, and at the end of the night he gave away $100 prize. I've just always had a problem, even when I was just starting out, with the whole pay to perform thing. So I think my little bit of arrogance that I had at that time, because it's a lot more arrogant now, but at that time it was newbie, just wanting to get on stage. I didn't know any better, but I just didn't like that. So I remember being cocky and saying, "You're just gonna be giving me $95 back at the end of the night," And he looked at me like. But at the end of the night, I was hired as the host, and I did win the $100 prize, and I was hired as the host of Monday nights from that point out. I say that was my break because from there, I met D. Lee and anybody else who at that time was influential in Philadelphia comedy. And it introduced me to the comedy scene. There was, from there, I knew where to go. So I'm still in Temple. I'm still dabbling in comedy, working. Basketball is a big hobby of mine. So, I'm street ball. I would go different courts, different tournaments, and just play. And I'm at the sporting club atop the Bellevue because I heard that back in the day they used to have real good runs there. Like the pros would come there, Dr. J be in there sometimes. You get a run. So I'm in there and I'm running ball with this guy. And I'm, this white guy, beautiful young white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, just giving, but I mean, he can't play ball, but he out there, he want to play. So I'm giving him the business and talking shit to him the whole time. And between games, we talking, and he said, "Man, you kind of funny." And I said, "Yeah, I just started doing comedy. I'm in school, but I started getting into comedy." And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I own a comedy club." That happened to
Wow.
be Eric Bloomfield, who at the time it was called Catch a Rising Star on South Street.
Mm.
And what I was doing at that time of meeting him was me and D was my mentor. I was more of his apprentice. We were throwing our own shows around the city. So Eric really didn't Catch a Rising Star was a hobby to Eric. He really didn't want to be in the comedy game. He just owned the club. So I introduced Eric to D, and D bought the Laugh House. D bought Catch a Rising Star, and that became the Laugh House. So it
Wow.
wasn't that I got my break at the Laugh House. I actually am
Okay.
the reason why the Laugh House exists.
Wow. Oh my. Oh
Because if I
wow.
hadn't
So they
met
definitely
Eric,
got to redo some stuff on there.
yeah, like if I hadn't met Eric, none of this happens.
Wow.
So yeah, but
Oh, that is. Yeah, like they definitely gonna have to fix something on the wiki or the little bio.
well,
Wow.
I mean, because what happened was there are two lives of the Laugh House. What happened was
Okay.
D owned the Laugh House, put in the standard, put in the system that they ran, that until the day they closed, they ran that same system that D Lee put in there. And about 5 years after D got in there, something happened. I'm not going to get into that. And D
Right.
was removed. And his managers, who were Mona and Rod was his food and beverage manager. Mona was his accountant. They were a couple, but they were D's managers. They worked for D. So when D was
Mm.
pretty much booted, they stepped up and Eric let them run the club. So that's the second life of the Laugh House. But that's the story you hear is from the
Mhm.
second life of the Laugh House. He doesn't really talk about his era of the Laugh House because everyone
Oh.
assumes that it's just one era. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. So thank you for that. Thank you for telling me all of this because I'm really interested in like the history and how things came to be the way they are. Where can people find you? So where can people find you at on all your social media?
At Comedy by Shayrenee.
At Comedy by Ray. That's everywhere on all the platforms, like
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that.
Yeah, and you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. I had to get Comedy by Ray because the opportunistic former owner of the Laugh House, Rod Millwood, registered to Ray.com before I could.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So when I looked up to go get a website, of course it's going to be ToRay.com, and it was like, oh, that's already owned by somebody. I'm like, oh. So, they offered to sell it to me, and I declined. But yeah, it's Comedy by
wow.
Ray. Yeah,
Wow.
the game is
You
fucking
put
something. The game is something. The game is something.
yeah, you're really dropping a whole lot of business gems, what's
Yes.
behind the scenes, and that's what I really am appreciative about you talking about stuff like that because as we see like a lot of comedians like they're going viral and they're becoming comedians and stuff and you have a lot to offer about
Yeah.
what really goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So that leads me right into my next question. What is some of the best advice you would tell to a new up and coming comedian or someone that's funny and they want to pursue and become a comedian or just an entertainer because you're in the entertainment business as well as being a comedian.
Um, don't be afraid of the no's you're gonna hear. You gotta have a certain confidence and belief in yourself, especially now when we live in an
Mm-hmm.
era where you can get your goods to market without a middleman. There were years, when I was coming up, the reality is nothing I learned is relevant now. You know what I'm saying? Like have a nice
Mm-hmm.
5 to 7 minutes and be funny. And it's like clubs don't care about that no more. If you got 50,000 followers and you can sell out a night, you get an opportunity. So what happens
Mhm.
is you need to be ready for these opportunities. You need to be able to capitalize on these opportunities. You need to believe that these opportunities can lead you to where you want to go. Maybe work in the club ain't what you want to do. Maybe you want to be a big movie star, but you started out on Instagram and now you're getting club dates. Well, work these club dates till you get your movie dates. Believe that they
Mhm.
lead to somewhere else. There has to be a certain confidence in self because there's going to be so many people that tell you no. There are going to be people that tell
Mhm.
you no that have no control of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't asking
Yeah.
them shit, but they still gonna say, no, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta believe in yourself. There has to be a certain level of self-confidence, self-belief, self-reliance,
Mhm.
and drive. So to anybody out there that's moving forward in this entertainment thing, it's gonna be some lonely nights, and you gotta believe in yourself.
Mm. Mm. Wow, some really good words of wisdom, right? Um, so do you have any merchandise for sale?
Yeah, I got my Black Lives Matter line. I actually have a
I
lot
love
of
that.
merchandise. I got into the t-shirts right after because as comedians, merch can change. I tell comedians, merch can change a $500 weekend into a $1,500 weekend or $1,000 weekend. You know, just sell a couple shirts. You know, you make some gas money. You make a little couple extra dollars. You know, but I came in and it was the DVD era. We were selling DVDs and all that. I mean, this was so. I've been doing this game so long, man. I remember I used to have my little portable DVD player set up, playing my DVD so you could see what you was getting, man. But and then I remember the last weekend I sold DVDs. This woman walked up to me and she said, "I like your performance, but I don't even have a DVD player. But I'm gonna buy one to support you." And I looked her in her face and I said, "Ma'am, neither do I." And that's the last weekend I did DVD because it was like I'm selling something that's obsolete. So I got into the t-shirts, and my life mantra is one of my life mantras is life is funny, keep laughing. Um, I think that's self-explanatory. And
Hmm.
I put it on a t-shirt, and then my my graphic designer is a really funky, eclectic young lady, and she was like, "What do you think about this rainbow foil print?" Like, she really didn't think I was gonna go for it. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, let's do that. And she's like, for real? I was like, for real. And like everybody, of course, thought it was gonna be, oh, ain't nobody gonna buy them. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, when they see these summertime colors with this rainbow foil, it's gonna go. And she came back to me and she said, your orders are crazy. Like, she's like, I never knew a dude that could get other dudes to wear the rainbow like that. So that went. And then when the pandemic started, another one was I lost like I was a little miffed. I was a little thrown off by the pandemic because it canceled. I lost
Yeah,
about 80
sure. Yeah.
dates. I lost about 80
Oh,
dates that were already
wow.
booked. And
Wow.
yeah, so I'm in my head and all of the stuff that's going on with the country and all of the uproar with different things, and Black Lives Matter popped into my head and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna put that on the shirt. So then I have my Black Lives Matter t-shirts. And those are selling great. And then about a month ago, maybe about 2 months ago, I had a little dumb, stupid, minor, insignificant beef, internet beef with some insignificant Philly comedian. And it came from me saying that a year ago during the pandemic, that comedians with jobs were calling me to check on me. Those same comedians are now calling me for work. And I didn't complete the thought. What the post was, I posted. I was like, comedians with jobs was calling me last year for work. And I didn't complete it. It should have been a full thought. But anyway, it was my post. It was my page. I didn't at nobody specifically. This non-factor comedian decided to take offense. And it was like, well, you need to humble yourself. And I'm like, I've never gotten told that by someone who's where I want to be. Like no one I aspire to be near, around, or have the things that this person. No one on that level has ever told me humble myself. None of the
Hmm.
big comedians, the great comedians I work with, none of the business people I work with, none of the great teachers and students that I get a chance to affiliate with, none of them have ever told me that. You know who tells you that? People who are lower than you. People who want you to dim your light. so that they don't have to squint. And so it popped when I was talking about this on a live feed. One of my friends in Indianapolis was like, "Fuck humble," and I was like, "That's my next T-shirt." So I have a T-shirt that says, "Fuck humble, be amazing." Why would you not be amazing in everything that you do? Why would you not claim and proclaim your significance in everything that you do? Some of us are amazing moms, amazing dads, amazing brothers. We're not all entertainers. We're not all that, but some of us are amazing in our lives. And it's always someone that says to you, well, you need to humble yourself. No, you need to be amazing. So that's my other T-shirt. So yeah, I got great merch. I got a Shopify store set up. You know, the pandemic made you resack your hustle. If it didn't, you lost. You just sat for a year and didn't do nothing. The pandemic should have made you really realize as an artist, your hustle has to change. You know, I wasn't good with the Zoom shows. I wasn't good with the that wasn't my thing. Like, I'm not good at that. I could do this all day. We could talk, do interviews, but all that be funny on TV, I couldn't do it. I wasn't good at it, but I was good at other things. I was good at marketing. I was good at selling. I released 2 albums during the pandemic, 2 comedy albums.
Oh, tell me about
Yeah,
that.
you know, they play on Sirius. You can listen to them on Pandora or Spotify, whatever you listen to your streaming, it's available. So on Apple Music. But yeah, I did that. I went and did some things that are of my art, of my industry, but are directly related from me and my goods and my services that I can get out to the people and still pursue my career.
Wow, wow. Isn't that amazing? And isn't it funny how you get new material out of something that you just like a disagreement or something like that, you get new material out of it. Like you have to like stay inspired. So
Yeah.
so I
Well,
mean it's kind of a good thing, right? If that didn't happen, you wouldn't have
nah,
your new slogan or your new
yeah, and
t-shirt.
it's funny because people be looking for it. Like people be like, yo, where the fuck humble shirt at? And I'm like, yo, I got them on, I got them for sale. And I did the Met we did the Met Father's Day, which was about 3,000 people. I think I sold 50 of that shirt alone at that show. So yeah,
Wow.
it's a very good thing to be inspired by your haters.
Wow. So you also do 2 podcasts on your 2 Instagram podcasts on your Instagram. Could you
Mhm.
tell everyone a little bit about that too?
Well, the first that I do was called the Eye Opener, and I prefer to call it like a live cast because
Yeah, like, okay.
I was going to do the podcast format, rip the audio and do all that, but it doesn't allow me to be open and free. It doesn't allow me to do like read and interact with the comments and all of that. So
Okay.
that's why I just decided to leave it a live cast and leave it on that. But I do that every Tuesday. It's called the Eye Opener. That's my rant, my view of the week,
Hmm.
truly from me, how I feel. And I started doing that because I say things on Facebook, but when you type it or post it, people don't really understand the sentiment all the time. And then, I get into debates and I'm back and forth and I'm typing and it's like, this is too much. Let me just put my opinion out there. You can feel how you want to feel about it, but let me speak on it and move on because that allows me to get it out. I started it right as the pandemic started. And then I got evil and angry and bitter. And so I had to stop because I didn't feel like people should be hearing my voice right now. Like I didn't feel like that my anger should be coming across social media at that moment. So I stopped. And then, as things loosened up and my life got a little less stressful, I started doing it again. So that's mine. I do that. That's no holds barred. That's uncensored. I don't want to say unapologetic, but it's not intentional that I offend anybody, but I talk intentionally. I speak directly and it's not for the meek. It's not for the, for the squeamish. It's my thing. Tuesday nights, Punchline Philly has been great enough to have such a great relationship with me and Live Nation and just supporting me and what I want to do. And they basically give me their Instagram on Tuesday nights to interview some of the upcoming act, which we call that Talk Tuesdays. So that's a little more corporate because that's not my account. But it's a great time for me to interview comedians I know and don't know and introduce comedians to not only my audience, but the Philadelphia audience and the comedy club Punchline Philly. So those are the two things I do, and that all happens on Tuesday.
So when did you start doing the Punchline Philly to interview other comedians and such?
I believe we started doing that in May. We started
May.
doing that in May this year, so it's new, but I've done about 2 months, and every week. And I mean, I've met some comedians. I had a great one last night with Funny Maine. I really enjoyed that one last night because I met the brother. I knew of him and knew him, but it was just an easy interview. Like we had fun, we
Mm-hmm.
talked, and so and then I have a choice. Like they let me interview who I want, and I said, if I have the choice, I want to interview black or female. I look at it like everybody else got enough exposure. You know what I'm saying? So if I can do anything, I want to interview black or female, and sometimes I get a black female, and then sometimes it's just black or it's a female. But it's a great thing for me and our audiences to get introduced to these comedians.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Could you tell us the title and the name of the two comedy albums that you just that you released on Spotify?
Sure. One of them is called Touré. It's very simple, Touré, a comedy album. And the other one is Touré, More Ace Than Mitch. A little toss, toss, shout out to the Paid in Full movie and the two characters and how I am in the game. It's just more, I'm a little more ace than Mitch.
Awesome. So, have you also written some movies or shows?
I haven't written movies. I've written for TV. I've written
Yeah.
for VH1. I wrote for one of the Housewives reunion, whatever Housewives reunion that Monique hosted. We got a chance to write. When I say we, it was my writing team. Got a chance to write her monologues and do those things. And then I wrote for Comic View the year Samore hosted. I was the lead writer for Comic View that year, writing her monologues and her openings and helping her. I don't write it all, but definitely on the writing team for that. And for that, I got a writing credit, which allowed me to move to writing for VH1's This Is Hot 97. Hot 97 did a short, it was a short mini-series like The Office, but it was on VH1 and we wrote for that. So yeah, I got my pen out, man. I've been able to do some writing and, wrote for some more for her 4 specials and some other
Wow.
comedians and helping them with their material. And that leads me to be able to run Philadelphia Comedy College. So I'm always
Yeah,
helping
tell me
comedians.
about that.
Well, Philadelphia Comedy College is basically the offspring of the Comedy by Touré stand-up workshop that I used to do at the Laugh House, which was just me trying to help comedians better themselves. And Keith, my great friend, partner, Keith from up the
Yes, I
block,
interviewed him.
fantastic. I don't want to call him a comedian because that would be short. He's a creative.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic creative. And he said to me, man, look, I'ma just do I'll do the administrative. I'll do all the stuff. You just teach. And he came in and he said, let's do it. Let's call it Philadelphia Comedy College. And he brought the structure and he brought the itinerary, the syllabus is what I should call it. He brought all
Wow.
of that and just put it in. He's like, man, you just teach. So he is the chancellor of Philadelphia Comedy College and I am the lead instructor. So it works
Awesome.
perfectly. And to this day, we've graduated over 120 comedians.
Wow. That's definitely being a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
So I have one question, and someone said, well, I'm sorry, 1155 JK said, will Philadelphia Comedy College be returning?
Yeah, June. Philadelphia Comedy College. I know that, brother. He's coming back in the fall.
Okay. Awesome. So let me get the next question. He says, Duray is a beast. Saw him do a comedy show while the police and inspectors were shutting the place down.
Yeah, man. And I hated that because that was the one show we tried to do during the pandemic, trying to do something and not really knowing all the rules. And then we were in a venue that he didn't take care of his business. So that's like they waited until he got a crowd in there and they came and shut him down. But I hated that because people were in there and people paid to see a show. And it was like, it was such a horrible feeling. That was like October of last year. And it was like, I just really fell back. Like, I'm not going to try to do anything until they open everything up. And then once they opened everything up, it was better.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
I just came in at a time where you had to deal with a lot of stuff when I started doing comedy. I did ski trips, I did crab feasts, bar shows. So police walking around don't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can deal with distractions. You know what I'm saying? So part of the game.
Um, so if you had a chance to work with any comedian, whether it's independent or mainstream, who do you feel like you would want to work with, or who you always wanted to work with?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, Eddie
I
Murphy.
definitely
I
like to
mean,
see
and
that.
you know, it's arrogant. It could be arrogant, but it's not. It's just I've been blessed to have a great career in comedy, and I've worked with a lot of great comedians and the big names and the little names. And yeah, Eddie Murphy. Like I was quick Eddie Murphy story. I went to Kevin's premiere for Laugh at My Pain, and I'm in the beginning of Laugh at My Pain.
Yes,
That's
okay, okay.
his documentary type film, and I'm in the
Yeah.
beginning of it. And this is how much respect Eddie Murphy gets in Hollywood. So I go to the premiere. Kevin's got the theater rented out, and he goes up and he says thank you to everybody, and it's star-studded in there. It's like, you know, Marlon Wayans is sitting over here and Terrell Owens is over there. It's like, it's crazy, you know. And I'm just
Mhm.
sitting there like, wow, you know. And Kevin goes up, thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. We're gonna start the movie now. Boom. And he, you know, steps off and the room goes dark and they about to start the movie. And then all of a sudden it's like the film go and the lights come back up and I'm like, damn, maybe they had a malfunction. Eddie Murphy came. So they had to wait for Eddie to get there to start the movie. So they waited for Eddie to come into the theater. As he came into the theater, everyone else gave Eddie a round of applause. Oh
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. It was like I was like, wow, like that. You know, I didn't know how much his peers respected
Mhm.
him. Don't get me wrong. I know who he is. So the only two seats in the theater left are next to me. Arsenio
Wow.
Hall is here. Eddie
Ah!
Murphy is on the other side of me.
Wow.
So Eddie and Arsenio sit, and I asked him, "Do they want me to move?" He's like, "No, bro, you can sit. You good." So the movie starts, and we sitting there, and my part with me on the screen comes on. So I can feel Eddie Murphy turn and look at me, and look back at the screen, and look at me, and look back at the screen. And then he go, "Is that?" He looks, he goes, "Is that you?" And I'm telling you, Eddie Murphy right here. He goes, "Is that you?" And I go, "Mm-hmm." I know. I was like, mm-hmm. I was like, mm-hmm. Right. Like, to me, man, Ed the man. So it's like I can't even speak to that man. So I'm on a certain level. So yeah, I would love to work with him, man. That would be the joint.
I think that would be dope. Do you have any like to are you interested in doing more series or films?
I, I'm interested in doing everything, you know. But for
Okay.
me, stand up is my love. Everything that comes to me from stand up, I enjoy doing. I enjoyed my brief role in not Underground King, you know, because it was simple. They didn't even give me a script. It was like, yo, this is what you want to do. I'm like, all right, you go on the corner, somebody come up, you disrespect them and tell them to get off the corner. I'm like, oh, all right. And so I ad libbed all my lines, and you know, so when they allow me to do that, it's just a wonderful thing. But yes, I enjoy all the things that come with comedy, but stand up is my true love.
Oh, and do you currently work with any organizations? I know you're doing the Comedy College.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you would want to talk about or add?
I don't I don't have an affiliation to any organization because
Hmm.
I don't want to be one sided.
Hmm.
My energy, services, abilities are available for whoever want to get down. You know, I just did
Awesome.
something with my man Maxwell Brown with getting the max out of life when we took the kids to virtual police training. I work with Kenyatta Johnson quite often. I work with Senator Hughes quite often. Just when they call, I come. You know, I don't want to be in a, well, he's the comedian that works with this organization. I'm the comedian that works with all organizations. anybody that want to make my community better, I'm here to work with it, big or small.
Awesome, awesome. So, before I close everything else, I hope to see one of your stand-ups on Netflix or or Hulu. I definitely want to see that because I see that they have a lot of
Yeah.
different stand-ups, and I definitely will enjoy seeing yours on there.
From your lips to
I
God
really
ears, we're gonna make that happen.
Yes, definitely. So, um, while I'm wrapping this up, I want to say hopefully I'll be able to, when things die down a little bit, I'll be able to actually come out and actually see you live.
Yes.
I hope to work with you on something. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what it is, and meet you, meet
Yeah.
you. And I want to say thank you very much for coming on the Indie Spotlight Philly, and having I had a really really great time with you and some laughs and everything like that. And thank everybody for watching and tuning in. And also, too, could you tell everybody about the times of your podcast and your comedy albums that's available on Spotify before I.
Not a problem. Party people, if you're looking for me, man, please go download these albums. Ray, a comedy album. It's available on Spotify. It's on Sirius XM Daily. It's available on what's the other one that y'all use all the time? The Pandora. It's on that one too, because that's free. So y'all go ahead and download those albums, man. Listen to those. If you're looking for me online, it's very simple. At Comedy by Ray. If you don't know how to spell comedy by, I probably don't want you following me, but TURAE, Comedy by Ray. All levels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that's all Comedy by Ray. My two live casts that I do on Tuesday, one is at 9 a.m. It's called The Eye Opener. That's on my Instagram, Comedy by Ray, Instagram Live. And the other one is called Talk Tuesdays. That's on Punchline Philly's Instagram on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Both Eastern Standard Time. Party people, that's how you find me, man. And I say it all the time. Life is funny. Keep laughing.
Also, you have some upcoming shows. What upcoming shows do you have coming up?
Oh,
I forgot. I didn't forget about that.
shoot. Let me see. This week I am Friday. I'm gonna shoot up the Royersford. This is a surprise if you're in the Royersford area. I'm going to Soul Joe's. Bill Bellamy will be in the building. I'm gonna slide through, do a guest spot for Bill. And then I'm going down to DC on Saturday. I got a show in DC on Saturday. My boys Bama Phi Bama. That's down there on DC in Silver Spring. Actually, it's not DC. Silver Spring, Maryland. And Sunday, I'm back here in Philly at the Northwest Community Arts Center, which is on Germantown Avenue. That's a great show. The Summer Comedy Jam with Teddy Carpenter and Smokey Suarez. And then next week, I go to Newark, New Jersey for Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, I am in West Palm Beach at the Palm Beach Improv. But again, all of this information is on my Instagram page at Comedy by Ray.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to tell you thank you so much for coming through the Indie Spotlight Philly, and I also want to say to have a great evening.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you having me. Let me know if you need me any other time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
night.
Good night.